Now, I ain't the one to gospel, but I am the one to bring the news now. And I'm the one who's going to react now. I kind of figured that something was going on with how Whitney Houston left here, how Bobby Christina left here, and Christina boyfriend left here. I knew it was something else that caused this mission. Now, Leola is Bobby Brown sister. And she's gonna tell y'all some things that y'all need to know, and then we're gonna react to it.
Struggle for those. That is not true. Mm-mm. I'm going to set the record straight tonight, today. Right now, it is about 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? And today's date is September the 27th. Now, I'm going to set the record straight, and I don't want to hear nobody no more. Media, this is to you too. I'm going to let you all know how they was all found. Okay, let's start with my niece. We're going to start there. Because, and the reason I'm starting with her, because after I did my investigations, I believe that Bobbi Kristina was the aim first. Bobbi Kristina was the aim, and they wanted to kill Whitney afterwards while she was at that Beverly Hilton. They wanted to say that they found Bobbi Kristina in the bathtub, and then Whitney Houston committed suicide, but that is not true. That is not true. None of that happened. None of that happened. Bobbi Kristina came out of the bathtub at the Beverly Hilton. Okay, but she was the first one found at the Beverly Hilton. Yes, you all didn't know that, but I have a lot of stuff coming out in the book. But I'm going to briefly tell you. I'm going to set the record straight and let you know that Whitney fought for her life. Bobbi Kristina fought for
Did
her life.
y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
Bobby Jr., I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, y'all. Listen. Pay attention. Pay attention. I had to come in real quick.
He fought too hard because I think he was just tricked. Somebody spiked his drink or food or something because little Bobby Jr. was clean. Okay? Seriously. Okay, now let's start with, matter of fact, no, let's start with Whitney. We're going to start with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's body told anybody upon looking at it that it was foul play. Okay, don't get it twisted. No. Whitney Houston, I counted 10, at least 10 gashes in her chest alone.
What?
She had marks up and down her legs. Her fingernails were chipped.
What?
Her face was busted out. It was blown up. Yes.
What?
As if somebody was punching her in the face. Whitney Houston fought for her life.
What?
Yes, she did. Excuse me, let me have a drink of water. Whitney fought for her life. Whitney had skin taken off her back. There was so many things wrong with Whitney's body. I mean, it told anybody. And like I said, her security, Ray, told me that room, Whitney's room, looked like a tornado hit it.
What?
So it was a fight. It was a struggle. Okay? Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Pat knew.
What y'all thinking about? What y'all thinking about? Because Leola been trying to tell this story for a long time. Let's listen now. Pat got something to do with it, allegedly.
This, Gary knew this, but they also did something else when before the authorities got there to the hospital with Whitney. Pat and Gary staged the scene. Yes, I have an eyewitness that was
What?
there that watched them go in and out of the room after Whitney's
What?
body laid there, and they were taking things out from one room to the next. Mm-hmm. Pat and Gary did this. So Whitney's body definitely denoted that there was foul play. Okay? All of her bruises told us what happened in that room. Whitney
Wow.
fought for her life. There was no drugs in her system.
So why they tell us that? Why did they tell us that? They claimed that she had drugs in her system. They didn't say nothing about she had scars on her. They said she drowned.
The coroner report states that there was no drugs in Whitney Houston's system. Okay? So let's stop saying that she Died of an overdose. I'm sick of seeing that in the media. That's not the case with Whitney. No, she didn't have any drugs in her system. Bobby Christina, Bobby Christina was beaten in her living room. Go and look at the police report. Bobby Christina was beaten in her living room by Nick Gordon.
Yeah.
He beat her down with Danielle in her condo, Max, Max Lomas, and Danielle. What's Danielle's last name? I got it coming out in the book, but that's okay. Danielle, who was somebody that Chrissy was not even friends with anymore. Okay, so what was she doing in my niece's house? Yeah, we're talking about all this in the book. Um, Nick beat Chrissy down into like a fetal position. She was screaming and crying, asking him why was he doing this to her because she didn't know. But it was a setup. It was a setup.
Mm.
Yes. Nick was told not to let her go out of that house and to do whatever it was he got paid to do that for. Okay? Yeah, that's the deal.
Wow. Oh my God.
Nick Gordon was not somebody that grew up with Bobby Christina either. No, he was not. He did not grow up with her. Nobody never met him. Bobby, my brother, never met Nick. Okay, Nick was brought into the picture after Bobby and Whitney's divorce. Okay, so basically right before Whitney was murdered, Nick was brought into the picture. Okay, and if you ask me who would bring him in, I would tell you Pat Houston. Yes, yes, she set everything up. Okay, we're gonna talk today. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to you
Talk then.
because it's obvious that Pat brought him in. And when Nick did that to Bobby Christina and she was rushed to the hospital, because after he beat her and drug her up them steps, he shot her up with something and threw her in the bathtub. And knocked her teeth out of her mouth. Yes. My
What?
sister Tina's here with me right now.
And see, they didn't want Leola to talk. They didn't want her to talk about this at first, y'all.
Reminding me of things. Okay? So, yes, Nick did all that. Also, I was getting ready to say something. After Nick did all that to Bobby Christina, he was on, I wanted to get his story. So my nephew, Gerard Brown, called him, and he was on a tape. He said, when Gerard, and I had 10 people in my living room. Some of Whitney's family was there, and the Browns were there, and some of my friends. So there are plenty witnesses. They all heard Nick on the tape. Gerard is on the phone with him. And he asked what happened. Tell me what happened. How did Chrissy end up in the bathtub? And he just went to talking all hysterical, and he was scared. He said, I'm not going down for this. I'm not going down for this. He said, I'm not going down for this one. He said, I saved Pat with Whitney. I'm not going down for Chrissy, because I already saved Pat with Whitney. So what did he save you for, Pat? How did he save you? How did he save you, huh? Is that why he's not living right now? I don't know. Talk to me. Because Nick is no longer here to tell.
See, Nick, I did a story on Nick, y'all. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna keep going. Nick, I did a story on Nick, and Nick was scared. Y'all, he was so shaken up. He was so scared to get help. And this before he died. And his mama wanted him to get help. But he wouldn't talk and tell what happened, y'all. He was nervous.
The story. Okay? So we're gonna keep this real. We're gonna keep this real. All right? And I'm gonna say this. I hope that you all don't think that I'm talking with anger right now. I'm just being passionate about this because I am so tired of seeing the media talk about Whitney Houston. They're writing up things. They keep saying that she was murdered. She murdered, death by overdose. No, Whitney Houston didn't have any drugs in her system. Okay? So, and neither did Bobbi. Bobbi Kristina was beaten into that bathtub. And then when she entered the hospital, she snapped out of the coma
Yeah.
quickly. She was not in a coma
Now she right about that now. She right about that, y'all.
for a long time. No, Bobbi Kristina, every single time I walked in her room, me and my sister Tina together, Bobbi Kristina was up. Her eyes were wide open. Wide open. And I asked the nurse or doctor, I said, she never sleeps. She was always aware and up. She wanted to know who was in her room. And she looked you dead in your face. And when I walked in the room to see her, she said, oh, 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 oh. She was so excited to see me. She kept trying to talk to me. The doctors saw this. They were like, oh my God, she's so excited to see you. She was trying to communicate with me. But she couldn't talk. But she was up. Bobbi knows this. Bobbi Kristina was up every single day. That girl was scared to go to sleep. She was up watching TV. Bobbi would sometimes come to her room and feed her popsicles and okay? So let's get out of that. Y'all, you got that idea in your head that my niece was in a coma and she was not aware and she was unresponsive. And yes, she was like that, of course, in the beginning, but she came out of that. Bobbi Kristina was strong. And Dr. Jolly showed them where he could bring her brain back 100%. The doctors had even told us.
That's true though, y'all. She telling the true story right there. But she got to hurry up because I got to go.
She would be fine after about 6 months. They said it would be a little slow process, but she's doing wonderful. It wasn't until the Houstons came into that hospital after Bobbi Kristina communicated to her father that she did not want none of them near her bed. But they came in there and they did something to my niece. There's no way I'm going to let somebody tell me that they didn't. They did. Because then there pops up an impersonating nurse. And then Pat was going in the room by herself all the time. And we didn't know this. She only did it when Bobbi went out of town. Yes. So something was done to my niece because she was supposed to come home with us. Bobbi Kristina was healing. Okay? And Bobby Jr., his case, I'm sorry. My nephew was homeless in California, and he called me. And he said, Auntie Lily, I have nowhere to go. I have a friend, a Facebook friend.
Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Do y'all believe Leolah telling the truth? Because at first they used to thought she was lying. I thought she was telling the truth. Because Bobbi loved her. Bobbi really loved her.
And this is not somebody that's going to tell a lie for me, so don't think that that's what's going on, because I didn't even know her then. I had just made a Facebook post and said, who's in LA and up right now? Please respond to me. And my friend Tawana in LA responded to me. And she said, I'm up. I said, please call me. And I asked her if she could take my nephew in because he was in the streets in LA. And I had no idea. And I asked him, what happened, little Bobby? He said that his father's wife, Alicia, did not want him in his father's house. And he said, Auntie Lily, I didn't do anything. Little Bobby is a very respectful young man. He said, I don't know why she doesn't want me in the house, so I can't stay with my father, and I don't know nobody in California. I'm just out here in the street. He said, I lost my job. He was working, struggling, trying to get his music on, paying his own way. But the job that he held down, he got fired on because he had an argument or a fight with somebody that kept picking on him about him being Bobby Brown's son and working a 9 to 5.
But I just wanted y'all to hear the part about Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina. But y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.